All right, guys. For me, it's a big treat. We have Dennis Smithers Jr. with us here today. Welcome to the Weird Kid Show, Dennis. It's an honor. I know we've been talking for a couple of years about getting an interview, but I think the way things happened and where we're at right now, I think it the perfect time for this. So, welcome. Thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate it. It's
Oh
an
man,
honor.
it's So I want to jump. I want to give a little because you and I have a history that tied us together, and it's just funny how ironic things unfolded. I mean, I live in Florida, and you're in Kentucky, correct?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. I'm sorry, in
It's
Arkansas,
all right.
and I never met you. Never who knew who you were. We weren't friends on Facebook, but. Uh, I happened to do a deal with a gentleman that lived in Bradenton, Florida, which is a few towns down from us, who had bought on eBay a movie camera,
Hmm.
specifically a Panasonic AG DVC7
Yeah.
digital camcorder and a boom mic, and there was a few other things. And I was at a point in time in my life where I really wanted to make my first film. I didn't have the resources, so I was able to beg, borrow, and steal to get on my hands on any camera to make this movie. Well, we did a trade. I traded him some Halloween props and stuff for this camera, and he told me the story that he bought this camera off of eBay, off of a gentleman that made a feature length film on this camera called A Bothered Conscious. And I thought, wow, that's cool. This camera's already made a movie, and now I'm gonna make my movie. And I was like, oh, tell me about this movie. And he said, yeah, the movie's good and everything, and you can buy it on Walmart. And well, sure enough, I found that movie, A Bothered Conscious, at Walmart, and it was directed by yourself. And that camera that I had was the camera that you used to film A Bothered Conscious. And so as I was making my film and everything, I decided to reach out to you because I watched the film and I really appreciated it because I know how hard it is to make a feature film. We're going to get into that. Um, and to see it through the whole thing because I think maybe you can agree a lot of people when they make a feature length film and especially when they get down to the editing where they're watching the same stuff over and over and over and over again, you almost get tired of your
Oh
film.
yeah.
At the end you're just like, okay, I'm done watching the same scenes over and over and over again. I'm ready to finish this thing. So, anyways, let's just start from there. I want everybody to know that there's a big opportunity for everyone at the end, your chance to host your own box office event. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. So just stay tuned, and we're going to tell you about that at the end. So Dennis, uh, let me tell you, man, it's an honor for me to talk to you because I am a big fan of yours and admirer of what you've accomplished and stuff like that. I watched your film, A Bothered Conscience, and immediately the thing that struck me the most was that your main character, who was your father, Dennis Smithers Sr., played like the lead character in that film. He was a really powerful. Uh, Now, I wanted to ask you because you made this film with virtually no budget, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and I know that in the credits at the end it says for the boom operator it was everybody or something like that because you
Yeah. Just every.
just to every, yeah, because you had to get whoever you could at the moment to hold the boom mic for you and everything.
Hmm.
So and the thing that amazed me the most is that you made this feature length film and everything was ad lib. The whole project was ad lib.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah. The whole thing was improvised.
That's amazing. So just to give just a little brief synopsis, um, A Bothered Conscience was a film about um a landowner
Hmm.
that I guess maybe was handed this property down. Old school generations handed this property down from generation to generation, and this land is so important to the family bloodline that they're willing to kill for it because that's their resources. And they don't take kindly to trespassers,
No.
and there's some killings involved. And but in turn, our main character, who I guess is played by, was it Stephen Martin?
Yeah, Stephen Martin, and he is my cousin. He's my first cousin.
Oh, okay, as your cousin, and he plays. Now your father plays Keller McGavin,
Hmm.
and McGavin, somebody else shares that name, Darren McGavin.
Darren McGavin.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that you're a fan. You're a big fan of Darren McGavin.
Oh yeah, I love him in A Christmas Story as the old man,
Uh-huh.
and
Kolchak.
oh yeah, yeah,
The
the
Night
Night
Stalker.
Stalker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Classic stuff there. So that's a good. So he plays Keller McGavin, and his son's played by Stephen Martin. I'm not gonna get too much into that because what everybody needs to know is there's some little um, there's stuff unexpected consequences, if you will. But make a long story short, his son eventually starts to crack. Let's say he cracks a little bit, and some of the phantoms or the ghosts of the past come back to haunt him, and I'll tell you what, I'm gonna just say, man, I loved all the sequences and scenes within all of that. I thought it was really really well done. There was a lot of the building of the suspense. At one point in time, he there was moments to where he reminded me of like Evil Dead with Ash inside the cabin and stuff. The
Hmm.
tense moments to where you just knew something was going to happen, but you're just waiting for it and everything. Was that a little? Was there some influence from that in there?
Oh
I can see
sure.
an Evil
Uh,
Dead behind you, actually. So that's probably
yeah,
jumped in my
yeah.
head.
Yeah. Let's see what we got there. Evil Dead 1 and 2, and right over there. I know you can't see it, but that framed picture up there beneath that reel there, that's me standing on the Evil Dead property where the cabin stood.
Nice,
In,
nice,
in between the two evil trees before one of the trees finally fell over. So I'm glad I got to go before it did.
nice. And there's like some isn't there some controversy on that as far as where didn't where you said that it's torn down now, right? The Evil Dead cabin.
Yes, it burnt down. Hmm.
And didn't you you said you managed to grab some pieces of it, right? The remnants of it.
Yeah, I got some of the tin roof and some of the concrete.
Oh,
Uh,
nice,
yeah,
nice.
and
I think that we're gonna have to hold another video on that because we've talked briefly about that before, and I find that very, very, very interesting. So, but so bothered conscious. First of all, what motivated you to make this film to begin with, or to make any film?
um, I've just always, ever since I could remember, I was fascinated with movies, and but it was always more than just watching a movie and the story. It was I was fascinated by how they worked. Like how did a person put this image in front of me to where I could watch this unfold?
Yeah, yeah,
And my brain had always worked that way. Like I love the whole, the Evil Dead was one of the first movies in general that I remember watching, and then of course Friday the 13th and the whole, 80s and 80s movies, and some of the 90s was okay, but I was more into the 80s. But I just I just knew that I had to figure out a way to be one of the people that put a story like that in front of you.
hmm.
And of course, there was no internet back then. I had no clue, where to even begin. And
Hmm.
so I'm just glad we were born when we were, because we had an opportunity to actually have the internet in our
Yeah,
lifetime, and that changed everything.
yeah, Yeah.
Completely self-taught. I mean, everybody learns from somebody. I just happen to learn from reading and watching videos of other people do it.
Yeah.
And and the money was always the big deal, and it still is. And this was in 2005. I was 25 years old, and I was like, I'm finally going to do it. Let's just do it. I don't care that I don't have any money. I don't care if people laugh at it. Let's
Yeah.
just do it. And my dad, he's like, if that's what you really want to do, I'll do what I can to help you. And
Yeah.
um,
But
he
how did he when he said that? Did he know how what exactly how much he was putting himself in? Because he, well, I mean, how did he feel when you asked him, Dad, I want you to play Keller McGavin in this film?
well at first he was like, I don't know. Yeah, okay. He's like me, very, very, very. I'm talking clinically shy,
Hmm.
and so I made a little prototype, a little 30-minute, which not very little for a short film, but a 30-minute prototype film of A Bothered Conscience. And a buddy of mine that was actually in that, he had a little bit of pull to a local movie theater, and so we got to cast it on the big screen, and I invited my dad to go watch it with us to see how it turned out. And when he got a taste of that, he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
That's cool. That's cool. But I'll tell you, you couldn't have picked somebody better for that film because let's just talk. Your dad in real life, he looks like he wouldn't have been somebody to mess with in real life to begin with.
Oh
He looked
no.
like he could handle himself in the woods, and what he was in the military.
Oh yeah, Vietnam.
Yeah,
The scariest thing about Dad in that movie is he was acting, sure, but he wasn't acting. I mean, it came natural because he was just a hardcore man. He raised me hardcore. I grew up. It was you walked the line. It's not like it wasn't like it is today to where go sit in the corner. Oh, time out now, stop it. To where the parents get on my nerves more than the kids do.
yeah, yeah,
With the whole stop it crap. And I mean, I got my ass busted
yeah.
hard. You
Uh-huh.
know, and that's just the type of man he was. And
Yeah.
I think I turned out okay. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. Most of us, all of us, from that generation know what it feels like to have our behind.
oh yeah, I never was afraid of any cop,
Yeah,
but please, absolutely do not let let my dad know. Please don't.
yeah, yeah. Keller McGavin on your case, man. That's the
Yeah.
last thing you want.
So it didn't take a whole lot of acting for him. Matter of fact, we had to edit quite a bit of his performance down.
Yeah, he was
He would go and so and what would I do? I'd be like, oh man, like, do I actually tell this man chill out?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, let's just let him do his thing, and then we'll take care of that on the cutting room
yeah.
floor.
And so, what did he think of the film when? And did you get now? Let's be honest. From what I understand, you live in a very I guess you call it the Bible Belt then.
Oh yeah, right in the
And
heart.
so, and I guess your film wasn't. Any horror film was not the
Oh
popular thing for the locals.
no, it wasn't 20 years ago, and it's still not today. Even still today, even with they still want the same theater
Yeah,
under different owners.
doesn't want that.
Still, they will not even let me in.
Wow.
And this is my local community. My hometown is Cushman. Now I got to get that right out of the way. Cushman has been good to me.
Yeah,
But the big, 10 miles down the road to where you actually have the theater
yeah.
and the newspaper office and all of that, absolutely not. And it is Batesville, Arkansas.
Please, Phil
I
Hart.
will gladly say that because
Yeah.
they have not been good to me or the filmmakers. Uh,
Oh,
they no. Uh,
expecting you to burst into flames at any minute, huh?
oh yeah, I've had people come up to me. Um, like I was trying to sell a few copies at a local festival, and this lady came up to me and she picked the box up and she looked at it, she flipped it over and she read it and she set it down, looked at me and she said, "What is this?" And I told her, and she said, "Well, why would you want to make a movie like this?" And I said, "Well, because it's fun and it sells, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and it's just my genre." And she said, "Well, let me ask you a question." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Had you rather make a movie that sells or go to heaven?"
Uh-huh. Yeah,
You know, and that's just one example.
yeah, yeah. If that's not your niche, your that's not your cup of tea, then just
Yeah.
move along. There's plenty of fluffy rainbows
Oh
around the
yeah.
corner. I want to see your film, and I know that there's going to be other people that are going to want to see it as well. So, in saying that and stuff, so there was no premiere in your town. It was not welcomed. But you've entered it in film festivals in other states and countries, from what I understand.
In other states.
In other states, okay.
Yeah.
And then how was it received on that level there?
I got accepted into a film festival in Wisconsin and one in Michigan.
Nice. Nice. Well, it's always nice to get.
Yeah.
Uh, but
But to give you another quick little example of of where I'm at,
uh,
the population of my town is 400 people, and
oh,
there's seven churches.
holy cow!
You know,
So
uh,
there's going to be at least two of those pastors of church are going to be pissed off because there's not enough because they're,
yeah.
oh man, they must be fighting each other.
Well, that's just like the bigger town down the road that's got the newspaper office or had the newspaper office. They when they found out I made a movie, they wanted to do an interview with me, and so they called me down there. I took my dad with me, and we did a this big thing. And when the owner of the newspaper found out what kind of movie it was, that was it.
Yank,
They
yank the rug right out.
uh, what took my place in the paper was the county's largest pumpkin.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Uh, that's unbelievable. To treat you like that, it's not good. Uh,
yeah.
but anyways, so I guess starting late last year or mid of last year, you made a decision to recut the whole film, A Bothered Conscience, and to change the grade. You wanted to, and I love it. I'm gonna share the cover with people. Um, you recut it, and then you put it in a grade that makes it look like 16 millimeter, I guess the 35 millimeter grainy film
Hmm.
to give it a like a grindhouse look to it.
Yeah, love that look.
Me too.
Love
I love that
love.
look too, and that's a Tarantino thing, and I love that. I love
And
grindhouse.
that's exactly the way I wanted that movie to look to begin with, and I was never happy with the title.
Uh huh.
I don't know why I even finally settled on A Bothered Conscience, because it's vague actually, and hey, I guess it fit it good enough at the time.
Uh huh. Well, I think everything worked out for the best because now we have a new film. It's been recut, re-edited, and you did the new grade on it. In fact, it's grindhouse to the point to where you can even have like the little like the you can hear the projector and then have like the burnt film, melted film every once in a while, the flaws, the
Yeah.
hairs, the scratches, and now it is called Fatalities and Phantoms
Yes, Fatalities and Phantasms.
and Phantasms. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no,
And
it's cool.
you let me watch a copy of that, and I sat through that, and it was like it wasn't like I forgot about Bothered Conscience. It was like I was watching, to me, a new film. But I got to, enjoy your father's performance in that film, which he was definitely the star. And unfortunately, I gotta say too that your father is no longer with us.
Yeah, he's been gone. At the time of this recording, he's been gone 9 months.
9 months, yeah. And yeah, so I was keeping up with the posts and stuff when that first started, and I do apologize for that because he would have been somebody I would like to have met, and he seemed like he really accomplished a lot in life, and you had your family and everything, and of course he's gonna live forever in that movie,
Yeah,
and I'll always know him as Keller McGavin, the badass
yeah.
I don't want to mess with, and to me he's a star.
And
Uh,
as hardcore as he could be, and usually was,
yeah,
he was, he was still a daddy. And man, he had a really behind the scenes when it was just you and him.
yeah,
He was really solid. I can't talk about it.
yeah.
I
I understand. Maybe someday, when things calm down and you've come to terms with it, because I lost my father, and I know what that's like. I've lost my mom. Um, is the dailies from everything you shot. You probably, in fact, I want to show you something here. Uh, this is my first film, all in the mini DVs that were shot with the camera that you used to make your film. All right, that's my whole film. That's my whole film. That's including dailies and everything. And I had this little thing here, this little sheet of paper that I used, made all my see that all the shots and what's on the
oh
thing and everything,
yeah.
and crossing off the scenes. And I've got something else, Dennis, that I'm showing you because I'm having everybody that watches this hold me to this. We have this, and this was the shotgun mic that you used to film your movie A Bothered Conscience. And I'm going to send this to you, brother. I'm going to send this back to you because I want you to keep this as to remember, like, because really, I don't know if you watch my videos, but I've done a lot of videos with my daughter, Haley. And to me, it's great. She's loving doing this stuff with me. She may not
Yeah.
always love doing this stuff with me, but right now she loves doing this stuff with me. But one thing is for certain is that if something happened to me, or God forbid something happened to her, that that is a good memory that we have together, and it's documented, and I can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
For me, you've probably still got all the mini DVs, or
Don't have I don't have a one.
no? But you must have all the footage. Did you have all the footage? Does oh
Nope.
no, oh
Nope. Well, I have maybe a DVD or may possibly two of some rough footage.
yeah,
Uh, because the way that got edited back then was I would shoot the footage
uh,
and I would mail it to New York City to the editor, and
yeah,
he would edit it, and then when he got a certain amount of it edited, he would burn all of that on DVD and send the DVD through the mail back to me,
okay,
and I
okay,
would watch it.
yeah,
And and
yeah,
so now whether he's got any of that anymore, I don't know, but I personally I don't have any of that stuff.
yeah. As I say, it would have been cool to have like the little behind the scenes with pops and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. So, but anyways, now the new movie Fatalities and Phantasms, you're gonna make 99 VHS copies of this for purchase,
Hmm.
and you're gonna make 12,499 DVDs for purchase, and then that's it. What? How did you get to 12? 1,499.
Honestly, I struggled with that number, and it's probably too high. Actually, I'll probably never sell that many, but just in case, um, I still personally love a physical limited media. If there's it takes away a little bit of the urgency to have,
Yeah,
not just buy, but to actually have the thing. It
yeah,
it it takes it away when
yeah,
you can, you know, on demand. You burn on demand. It never goes out of
yeah.
stock, and I don't. It just kind of depends on what it is, but I personally prefer to have something that's got limited quality to it, and out of all those limited numbers, I've got one.
Uh-huh.
That's what I like
Yeah,
personally, and
yeah,
it makes it a little more, I don't know, special to me.
yeah, yeah,
Um, a hair a bit more sacred, maybe, if I've got one of only so many.
yeah, yeah. I understand that perfectly.
Uh,
Yep. Yeah,
and I probably should have to, if I want any chance at all to sell out. I probably should have went with more like 1,500 copies, maybe a hair less than that. But I don't know. I just I thought about it for days. Like what number? And
yeah. So when would they be ready to ship? Let's say if somebody's watching this, and they say, "Look, Dennis, I really want a copy of this movie." First of all, how much is what is the do you have a retail number yet
it's going to be somewhere around $10
for the
for
DVD,
the DVD.
and how much the same for the VHS?
The VHS somewhere around we're still working on that, but it's going to be somewhere around 25 ish.
Uh-huh. Okay, because that's more like a collector's item.
Yeah, and they're more expensive to have made
Yeah, yeah,
from the very beginning. It's more
yeah.
expensive all the way around.
Takes a lot longer too. It's not burning a DVD. It's
Right. Yeah, that's a
definitely
whole different
gonna play
process.
the whole movie. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to explain to my kids. I still got some VHS tapes, and they come across them and they go, "What is this? What is this?" You know, and,
Mhm.
my records, my vinyls. I was like, they're like, "What is this? What does it do?" You know. So
Yeah.
they have they're all and DVD is on this way out. So 20 a VHS is a good collector's item to have. You know.
And I can't wait to actually see it on VHS myself.
Oh
I
well, that's
I
gonna be the perfect format for it with the tracking and
Oh yeah, dude.
you know.
We're VHS kids,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and
Definitely.
there's
Definitely.
never going to be anything like a VHS for us.
Yeah. So how when do you start production on these, or do you have some copies on hand now? If
Start production somewhere around the middle of next month.
next month. Okay.
Yeah, and so that would be in May of
Okay.
yeah.
Now are these going to be sold directly through you? Like, if can somebody come on Facebook and message you and say, "Hey, Dennis, I want a copy of this," or are you gonna have a website?
Yes, it'll be at beastreleasing.com.
Beast
There'll be
Racing. Okay. I'm gonna
there
provide that for everybody.
okay. There'll be something there
Okay.
to purchase, and there will be copies on eBay. There will be copies in two or three different places.
Well, let me ask
It'll
you
be easy
this:
to find.
if let me ask you this: if somebody, if I directed my viewers, if they wanted a copy of this, could I direct them? Maybe if I directed them to you on Facebook,
Hmm.
and if they said, "Hey, I saw you on the Weird Kid show. I would like to purchase a copy." Is there like maybe you could autograph them, a
Sure.
DVD for them?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be fine.
All right. So you heard that, guys. If you want to get one via the Weird Kid show and get you. And I'm telling you, you're gonna want to see this, guys. For you know, there's plenty of low budget films out there, but there's the thing that's this one is charming. It's charming because Well, first of all, your dad's a badass, and he was. I don't think you could have asked for anybody better for that role as Keller McGavin. And the effects are, the effects work. You pulled off the effects. Um, for something that's been improv the whole way, and you accomplished a lot. It's definitely an accomplishment, and you should be proud of that film.
Well, I appreciate it.
And
And that was some of the charm of it getting distributed when it did. Back getting distributed, traditionally distributed. Back when I did back in 2005 was difficult to do. It,
yeah,
it it was difficult to get a traditional distribution deal, even more so then. And
they tend to rake you over the coals too. These distribution companies.
oh yeah,
They
but part of the charm of that was they knew that there was like we had a budget of $1,800 actually, and 1,500 of it went to the camera. So
yeah.
and they knew that it was improv. I would be on the set going, next, say
Yeah.
this, next, do this. And I would have them to say something. I would say something, have them repeat it, and I say, "Now say that again."
Uh-huh.
you know?
So you weren't even like writing it, like, because like
No, I was trying to
Francis Ford
remember.
Coppola, like, these guys used to like write the scenes for the movie the next. You weren't even doing that. You were like, you get on set, we're gonna do this, we're gonna try that, and
Yeah, and then I would remember where we were. I would do my best to remember where we were in my head. I'd be okay, because now we did this, and I was trying to piece together a story as we went along. And there were a couple of the actors every now and then, would say, "Well, what if we tried this?" Thomas King, who played the cocaine
yeah, yes,
thief,
yeah.
the he would come up with a couple of things every now and then, and so I everybody pitched in one way or the other.
Well, that's that old saying, and it's funny you say that because I used to say before we would shoot, I would get the actors together and I'd say, this isn't my fault, my picture. Because I can't make a movie by myself. I need you people together to help me make this movie. So, in other words, it takes a village to raise a child, you
Hmm.
know. And I always encourage too when we were on set, if the actor, hey, can I say it the way I would say it, because when we tell people to say something, it's through our thought process. It's not necessarily somebody else's thought process, and then you end up coming together and creating this thing together. And you managed to do that, but through improv, which is just you improv the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I want to encourage everybody to. Uh, I'm going to provide the link for the website. Is it up now? Like they can go to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay, so they can keep
Beast
tabs.
releasing.
Okay. And I'm also going to provide your Facebook if somebody
Hmm.
wants to go and say, hey, I watched the Weird Kid show and I would like an autographed copy.
As a matter of fact, you're the first person to ever offer me to reach out to offer me an interview. You're I, just for that, just for you being such a fan of my work. If somebody comes to me and says, "Look here, I saw this on the Weird Kid show," I will deduct $2.50
Oh,
off
wow.
of their purchase.
Oh, wow.
If
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Awesome. Yep. And I'm encouraging everybody, please go and get you a copy. Okay. But we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, and you're gonna have to help me through this, okay? Because there's a bigger opportunity for everybody. Uh, and there's a few people that I have in mind that I think would you know that could actually benefit from this. You have not only like recut a bothered conscious, repackaged it, regraded it. Basically, you've changed it and created a new standalone film.
hmm
You want to have, uh, I guess we called it a virtual box office premiere. Is that the right? Help me with that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the it was edited heavily enough that it was able to get its own title on IMDb. So,
Oh no.
Fatalities and Phantasms is separate from A Bother Conscience
Oh, okay.
because it's
That,
a version of it. So,
yeah, that is
but
awesome.
but yeah, what I'm doing, I am also acting as distributor this time around. I waited umpteen years to get my rights back, and I finally did, and I'm not going traditional again. And me personally,
Uh-huh.
I'll never do that again.
Yeah, yeah,
I recommend it at least once, but don't let it be your baby. That's all I can
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but anyhow, yeah, I'm acting as distributor on the thing. It's Beast Releasing,
Uh-huh.
and what I'm doing is it's an equivalent, an alternative to a theatrical release. I'm calling it, the home cinema tour.
Uh-huh. Okay.
A- and if you would like to host a physical watch party, a get together in the backyard or wherever you want it to be, invite your friends, you know, to watch it and charge them admission to be in this party, kind of like the old rent parties of
Yeah, yeah.
from back in the day to help pay the rent.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh, you know, charge admission at the door and just have a good old time with the popcorn and the sodas and watching the movie. Uh, what I want to do is split the admission revenue 50-50 with you.
Mm-hmm.
You keep 50% of it, send me 50% of it. Now, I know already that some people, unfortunately, will not send my entire 50%. I get
Yeah.
that. I know that already. I've lived long enough to know that.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a little bit of honor system in this to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can send me my cut through Cash App or PayPal. Ever how you want to do it is fine with me. You can charge what you want to or see what you think you can charge and get away with it without much balking.
Yeah.
Go ahead and charge what you think.
So
It's
yeah,
just
somebody could like if they have access to a little venue or something, even if they're like a nonprofit, this is a good thing that a nonprofit can do. If they're trying to raise money up for a nonprofit and they don't mind the fact that it's a horror film,
mm,
they could, if they're able to secure a little venue and then charge admission, pop up some popcorn to hand out. They could
sorry
charge
about
for their popcorn and drink, charge admission for your film, and then send you half just for the distribution, just for the film, not the popcorn sales or the drink sales.
no, that's
They
yours to
could,
keep.
yeah, they could potentially have a nice little chunk for their nonprofit,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
or
yeah.
else,
If
yeah, if somebody
yeah,
wants, yeah,
absolutely. If you want to sell concessions, that's one just like a theater and a studio. That's 100% yours. All I'm interested in is the admission, half of the admission fee.
well, that sounds like a cool opportunity, and it might be, something for the average Joe like myself, man. I mean, I got a lot of sticks in the fire, but when he told me about that, I was like, man, I would love to host a horror film for the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I could, if I could secure a venue and then, and then maybe make a deal with them, charge admission, sell popcorn and then drinks and stuff like that. It's not so much about the money. It's just the fact that I'm hosting, to host a place where a dark theater where we can
Right.
watch a movie.
Yeah.
You know,
And same with me. What if somebody sends me, you know, half of the admission revenue, and all I'm going to do with it is turn around and make another movie with it. That's what I want to do with the
they,
proceeds to this
yeah,
is to pump it into my next film, which is supposed to start rolling camera in September.
yeah.
Finally, after 20 years.
Now, and you already got the title for that film, right? Because is that the one you sent me the script to?
This one is in the sticks.
In the sticks.
In the sticks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because okay, so the other film is that one's gonna get pushed back a bit, or
Yeah, the Pimp and the Dead.
yeah, the
Was it?
Pimp and the
Yeah, the
Dead.
Pimp and I definitely want to make that so
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, I need to wait. I need to wait for a bigger budget,
Uh,
just to do some of the things in it correctly.
okay.
So yeah, In the Sticks it will be next, and I would just like to be able to raise a little money along the way, and to and also the thing about this distribution hub is I would like to have Beast, it as a distribution thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of, form its own community of,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like, oh, Beast has a new movie coming out, and then it gets sent out to its
Yeah.
people.
Well, I mean, there's a guy that's with Charles Band did that with Full Moon Productions. He started off with these little puppet master movies, and he's selling merchandising. Now he's got like an empire of
Oh yeah.
websites, and you can now he's got streaming and everything else. But on this level, you know, I'm an artist and I support smaller artists, because it's either it's us against them. It's Hollywood
Hmm.
and then us, you know,
Oh
and,
yeah.
and we have to take care of each other. We have to support
I,
each other and everything. And your
and
heart is seeming to be in the right place with all of this. When you made this film, um, and how the method of how you made it, and then what your goal is moving forward. You're not trying to break into Hollywood. You're trying to make movies. You are
oh yeah,
passionate about the language of film, and I can totally 100% understand that.
and man, there I have a filmmaking buddy that he I love him to death, but he just don't understand my way of thinking on that. He keeps holding out, waiting for the big one. He's hoping for the big one. Well, and man, well, that would be awesome, but it's 99% chance it's not going to happen. And we could, instead of holding out for that, we could be together
Yeah,
making these little C pictures along the way, building the
yeah,
catalog up,
yeah,
doing what we love to do, have fun doing it, and
yeah,
and get some product out there.
yeah,
And because that's just me all the way, man. The highest I ever even really care about going is a good B picture.
yeah,
I've got I have no desire for Hollywood.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean, it would be fun if you're independently wealthy in turn to spend, to have the, because I could have always used, we use a lot of airsoft guns in our, when we were doing our Necessary Evil series, we were using a lot of airsoft guns, but sometimes we had to like, okay, who's got the gun now? Because we didn't have enough money to buy like bunches of these airsoft guns where we had to black out the orange tips on them and
Yeah.
try to make them look like real props, stuff like that. But I can understand that there's a camaraderie there um, with with the actor when you get somebody who's willing to take the time to come and help you with your art project, and you
Oh,
know,
absolutely. I 100% want to. That bothers me too, by the way. I 100% want and am going to pay people, like my next picture. I don't know what it'll be. It can't be much, but I do want to pay you something for your time, because time is something you cannot get back.
yeah, yeah,
And you know, now on a bothered conscience, aka Fatalities and Phantasms, that was family, friends, everybody pitching in, having a good time, and hoping that it got somewhere.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I was never able to pay anybody back for their time, but
yeah,
that one wasn't about that.
yeah, yeah,
That one was about family helping family and buddies helping buddies, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, if it gets somewhere, it does. If it does, remember me. You
yeah.
know.
Well, to me, with when I made my first, I don't know if this you, when I made my first film, I did it, I did it for myself, for first and foremost, because I
Mm.
knew I didn't have the resources to make. blockbuster film, anyways. And knowing and thinking that I'm showing people that I am serious and passionate about this. And I found that as I was going along, I was picking up strays that, you know, that guy that made the rock soup, you know, if you know that story there, and then he,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I had that pot with the rocks, and I'm stirring it, and people
Yeah.
start, started coming, and the next thing you know, I'm like being invited to film sets, and I ended up doing special effects for film projects. They weren't my own, and acting, and so you build up a community of like-minded people that are not Hollywood, but
Right.
passionate about this and just want to make films for the
Yeah.
art. Make,
Right. That's why I look up to my inspiration. My inspirations as a filmmaker, was always George Romero,
mhm.
Sam Raimi during the Evil Dead era.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Ed Wood.
Uh huh.
You gotta love that guy, man,
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
dude, Ed Wood, he died with absolutely no. He didn't have a penny, and
And a lingerie underneath it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
died with a bra on,
Yeah.
and but his were almost borderline C pictures, but he believed so hard in what he was doing. That's what made Ed Wood different.
Yeah.
He believed in what he was doing. Like, you asked him, he just made the best picture in the world,
Yeah.
and he believed it.
He was excited. He was
Yeah,
excited and
yeah,
on fire, and he just couldn't wait to just let's get out there, to where he was willing to even like, because in LA you don't shoot anywhere without a permit. He
yeah.
was willing to be sneaky and try to capture the shots, and he believed, even though Bela Lugosi was like broken man at that point in time, he's like, we got Bela Lugosi, and you know,
Mhm.
but it worked. In some regards, he did make the best pictures, because there's people to this day that still watch Plan 9 from outer
Oh
space.
yeah. He succeeded in what he wanted. Unfortunately, it was too late, like for a lot of artists. But you know, he definitely done something right, because we're still talking about him 40 something years
Yeah,
later after
yeah,
his death.
yeah.
And so, so he gets the last laugh, really,
Oh yeah,
because,
yeah,
when you mention his name, all that is proof that he done something right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you had Johnny Depp play you in a movie.
Oh yeah, dude. And Tim Burton to direct it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So legend. The guy's a legend. So
Mm.
I don't know if we'll be legends, my friend, but we our work, when we're long gone, that media will still be there for people to
Mhm.
see.
Yeah, and that's a big thing for me too, actually. I think about that quite a bit. It's my stamp.
Yeah,
It's a stamp to say, hey, I was here.
yeah,
You don't have to like it,
yeah.
but at least it's something that's saying, it's got
Well,
my
that's
name
good,
on it.
because people in your town don't like it.
Yeah, and and that's another thing too, man. And you know where I'm coming from on this. It, when you come from such a small place in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
it is just the process of finding people to even pay to
yeah,
be in your movie.
yeah,
Most people around places like this, they're not interested in being in a movie, making a movie. You literally are the only filmmaker
yeah.
outside of this screen here.
Yeah.
Everybody that wants to do it with you is 1,000 miles away.
Right,
And
right.
and I feel sorry for my wife, because she's at home. She's literally one of the only people that I can talk to about my passion for filmmaking. And she, God bless her, she sits there and she's like,
Well,
"Oh,
I
here we
think
go."
that might be where it helps to have a little Ed Wood in you, to be excited and sell it to people, because that's basically what
Yeah.
you're doing when you're trying to get somebody to, especially when with us.
Mhm.
Now I was fortunate when we started Necessary Evil. I had people come. There's somebody that drove up from Kentucky to be in our film. We had people come from Miami and the other coast, and I had somebody from Alabama, and it was just because they were willing and they believed in it and wanted to help because they saw the excitement. There was excitement there.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh
and
yeah, man. When I go to talking about it, and like at work, God help anybody that actually asks me about it, because I get so fired up and excited about it, and I bet they're thinking inside, they're like, oh hell, why did I ask this dude this question?
you might probably feel excited enough where you just would want to run out there and start shooting right away.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you plan on shooting? You're going to start production on your next film in the sticks? Is that what you said?
in the sticks.
In
Yeah,
September.
1st of September,
Okay.
finally.
And this is going to be another feature.
It will be a feature. Yes.
And then do you have a projected like how long this will take you? Because I'm probably sure we didn't talk about this when I made my first film, Dark Limbo, that I used your camera to make. Um, there would be heavy shooting, and then there would be like a couple of months where there was nothing going on because I'm setting up and trying to get props and stuff like that, and you know,
Yeah, we um we had to film every other weekend. Be,
mhm,
that's just the way it was set up because of one of the actors' home life.
yeah,
And so every other weekend we would shoot. So doing it that way, it took 5 months to shoot and 4 months to edit.
wow, yeah. People don't realize that too. Just when you get all the footage, the real work starts when you start getting into
Oh
the
yeah,
editing.
the shooting it is the fun part, and the post production is the work.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That's where you
Yeah.
gotta add all the magic, and sometimes you have to do pickup shots. Did you have to do any pickup shots to where you had to come
Yeah,
and
uh, a couple, just a couple, and that was well, yeah, a couple of insert shots, and then we had to do some pickups on the sound, on the dialogue.
yep, ADR and stuff.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, typical. That's typical. But the big achievement is when you finally get it done and you're like doing that final render, knowing that it's finally done. And we
Yeah.
talked about this earlier. At that point in time, you're almost sick of your film, and you want to be done with
Oh
it
yeah.
to be, because you've just watched the same thing over and over and over and over again. And
Yes.
uh,
Yes. You're absolutely. By the time we had our world premiere in June of 2006 at Heber Springs, Arkansas, by the way, I love those guys because they welcomed us like, come on, and we showed it at the Gym Theater in front of a couple of hundred people. And by the time we got to that point, I didn't even stay through the whole movie. I mean,
really,
I stayed at the theater,
yeah.
but I got up and I didn't even watch the ending. I just went out to the lobby
I
outside,
I can identify with it because we showed our series at an event, and I had to go up on stage and talk to people and say a few things, and then they started playing it, and I wanted to go outside, and somebody asked me, "Aren't you going to say?" I said, "Oh no, I've seen this.
Mm.
I've already seen this." So okay, so I think that's about it. Just that now you mentioned the website. Mention the website one more time. Now, when it comes to that's to purchase the films, but is that also the go-to channels if people wanted to do this home premiere or venue premiere?
Yeah, you can go to the website to reach me. You can go to the Facebook page to reach me, and I'm almost done with the new Twitter profile. I'm easy to find. I'll
Okay,
put
all
I'll
right.
put it to
Like
you
I
that
said,
way. If you can find, I mean, you'll find me. That's no problem.
yeah. And like I said, I'm going to provide a link to the website. I'm going to give people a link to your Facebook page if they want to message you directly. Remember, if you want a copy of Fatalities and Phantasms, reach out to Dennis through Facebook and let him know you saw him on the Weird Kid Show and you would like to purchase a copy of the film. If you're interested in doing the premiere, yes, discuss it at that point. Dennis was kind enough to deduct $2.50 from
Yep.
each copy, and you're going to autograph
Yep.
it.
And I will autograph it
That's
too.
awesome. I won't have to jump on
And
that.
and and I would like to say real quick before I forget that when it comes to fatalities and phantasms, I want to personally say talk about Doug Johnson, the sound man and the editor on that, the original editor. I did the additional editing for this new cut, but
Uh,
Doug was the one that originally pieced it together. And without Doug Johnson, I couldn't have made this movie. I
yeah,
could have shot something, but I couldn't have put it together.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so if it hadn't have been for Doug, there wouldn't be this. And so and we've got a unique relationship because we've only met one time in person,
uh,
and that was during the world premiere. He flew down here, him and his wife, to watch it,
uh,
and that was in 2006. And when he flew out, I've not seen him again, but we have always stayed friends on the phone and through texting.
that's
And
awesome. That's awesome.
the last time I talked to Doug was only a couple of days ago, but
Uh,
I've only seen him one time in 20 years.
yeah, that's some of the best friendships are made that way, man. I
But
tell you.
but it's funny. We're old friends, met
Yeah.
once.
You know, I enjoyed the original cut of the film, but I like it even better now. Uh,
Yeah.
Great because now
Well, now
it's gritty. It's a
it
grindhouse.
the cut itself, the edit itself, the sprockets coming into the frame and the light leakage and all of that. It's a character within itself in the film.
Yeah,
And
true.
I love that. And that's the way I really originally wanted this movie to be back
Uh-huh.
then. And
Yeah,
you can see a little bit of that in A Bothered Conscience, where there's a little bit of 8 millimeter
yeah, yeah,
scratch.
yeah, yeah.
But uh, I wasn't as hardcore as a director back then, and I got overridden because I was about the only one that did like that look. But
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
but now that it's all mine, man.
yeah. And I can understand that too. I can
uh,
understand that too. So, but anyways, Dennis, thank you so much for coming on here. It was really enjoyable talking to you. And we
Glad to
can't
be
wait. We're
here.
going to keep our eyes out for the release of Fatality and Phantasms. And like I said, I'm encouraging people to keep tabs. And if you're interested in doing this premiere where you share the box office uh, profits, then reach out to Dennis and everything. I'm going to provide a link to his website. I'm going to provide a link to his Facebook page. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
like
yeah.
as a matter of fact, I've got somebody in North Little Rock that has hit me up with the offer, and they're going to show it to their deer hunting club on
Oh,
the
that's cool.
on the projector out in the woods.
That's cool, and
And
that's an appropriate film for because where I will say this: some of the like establishing shots you took, absolutely gorgeous countryside out there, beautiful, beautiful land. You captured some beautiful sunsets and
yeah,
just
it's really pretty around here. Most of that was just right back here behind this wall here.
yeah.
But yeah, if anybody wants to watch the trailer to the new cut, just it's on the Beast Releasing YouTube channel. They can watch it, decide for themselves whether or not they'd like to go any further with that. But
Okay, yeah, definitely. Well, I thank you much, Dennis, and hopefully maybe we'll be able to do this again when your next film comes out.
well, man, I hope so, and I hope I did okay. This is like
Oh,
I
you
say
did
this.
great.
This is my very first video interview, and I'm scared to death.
Oh, you did fine. You did fine. And believe it or not, I I still get a little nervous every time I do this, but you know, you only live once, man. You know, and it's
Oh
all
yeah,
good at the end of the day. So, but
yeah.
anyways, thanks again, brother. I appreciate it. And,
Hey, Dave, thank you for the opportunity, man, and I appreciate you for hanging around and for so long and being a fan for so long and never giving up on me.
oh no,
You
man.
know, you finally. I've got agoraphobia, so it's really hard for me to go outside the house, much less do.
Yeah.
And you kept on till you finally pried me out from under that rock.
Yeah.
So
And
I appreciate it.
hopefully you'll get to do some more. You'll get to do some more interviews, and it'll open it'll open up new channels and new crossroads for you and stuff like that. And you know, we need to get your film out to like-minded people. And this is a movie I stand behind. I think it's well worth the watch. It's not a Hollywood blockbuster by any means, but
So
it's a piece of art where somebody's heart and soul went into it, and it's got a good storyline, and it's a fun film to watch. It's worth seeing. Plus, your dad. I'm sorry, your dad is the star of the show,
yeah, yeah.
and
He
you know,
he would have loved to have met you. He enjoyed talking about the movie and the process, and
yeah, yeah,
especially as he got older. He
yeah,
got older and he got softer, and he opened up more about things like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
good.
yeah, anyway, Dave, yeah, this movie here, it's like I say, I call it a C picture. That's what Beast Releasing mainly is. It's and like I say, you got to have the C picture
Uh,
because you've got to have the third film for the triple feature.
yeah, yeah, that's right. That's
You know?
right. Yeah, that's right. We could maybe someday you could get a drive-in to do a triple feature. Uh,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
starting with fatalities and phantasms.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
All right.